If you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe.
All right, Nikki, we've got Sentinels versus the X-Men. Classic battle here.
Yes.
And one we've been looking forward to for quite a while.
Yes, we are looking forward to this.
It was fun to paint something that was normalish size for once.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah, it was a little bit bigger surface.
But they didn't have eyes, which is always the hardest part about painting. So, not really. So we've kind of modeled this after Days of Future Past.
Yes, this is our next lore video is centered around Days of Future Past. We thought that was the one that really showcased the Sentinels really well and just a really, really good story.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems so cheap to be able to play the first class for nothing and then get to grab all those objectives for nothing.
I don't want to hear it, Andy. I don't want to hear it.
You're going to hear it for the
so
first
there's
few
Colossus, and he was one of the main characters in Days of Future Past. So that's one of the reasons I chose him.
It's a good option. Yeah, this is where it sucks playing with such a huge base. I couldn't... They can't hang off or anything, so very limited. But I grabbed the trap. Good job, Sentinel. I believe that one was Jimbo.
Yeah.
Sentinel Jimbo.
It's easy to get them mixed up, so Andy named them.
Yes.
Okay, Storm. She was also one of the main characters in Days of Future Past.
But that was Calm Storm. Not aggressive Storm, as you'll hear us discuss.
Well, in the future, she was more aggressive.
Way more aggressive.
Yeah, in
future comics.
Not future. Well, no. In Days of Future Past, when you see her in the future, she's got her act together.
That's true. She's truly embraced her leadership position. Because at this time in the comics, 1981, she's brand new to being a leader.
Yes, that had just happened. So
we're just, this is straight up just maneuvering around, grabbing objectives. Nikki trying to determine if she can shoot me.
Oh, I was hoping.
And that's why the Sentinel's like, stop. You're not in range. Thanks, Jimbo.
I detect you, mutant.
Right? Yeah, we were humming. Okay, I was humming the X-Men, the 97 X-Men cartoon theme song as we were playing this. Yeah, now you're just maneuvering to see what it's going to take to get you within range in the next round. So, but you didn't move.
Oh, it looked like I moved a little bit.
So Sentinel Prime, a little bit easier. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is Cassandra. I actually had to literally dust her off because I think we've used her twice.
I don't even know if it's twice. I think it was once.
Maybe once, yeah. Quite literally collecting dust on the shelf. So, but she had a very fun ability that works with the Sentinels. So that was
she did. She was not in the Days of Future Past story.
Oh no, she wouldn't show up for another 30 years, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she doesn't show up until the new X-Men. Which was not at all one of my favorites. Okay, so you've got cover. This is why you're changing. This is your leadership ability in play here. And it's a Psionic Bolt from Cassandra.
And this is on Wolverine?
No, Colossus.
Oh, Colossus, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Wolverine.
I would have loved him to be over there. His psychic / mystic defense is so much lower. Wolverine also in Days of Future. He was actually probably one of the
Wolverine was one of the main characters, absolutely. Scott was not. He had gone to find himself.
He was getting in touch with himself.
He was. He was. Absolutely.
But Wolverine, this is not the Wolverine most people know of today. He was a little bit different back in 81. He'd only been part of the comics for 6 years, but he wasn't embraced by the fandom as much as he would in a few years.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I was reading that they almost wrote him out.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
And then, I don't know one of the writers or something was Canadian.
Oh.
And
okay.
they were like, yeah, we really, he wanted to give Wolverine another chance, give the Canadian another chance, and...
Lo and behold, yeah. I mean, because he's so iconic on the front of the cover.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what year that was. It's just something I remember reading in passing.
This is Sentinel Steven.
Steven. Are you sure it was Steven?
Oh, yes,
that was Steven.
Steve. He was
Steve. Okay,
Sentinel
I knew that
Steve.
didn't sound right.
Steve. And that's his brother's arm right there on that windshield. He wants revenge for his brother.
Yep.
He's got a great backstory. 13 pages. We'll share it one day. But so yeah, this is again just posturing a little bit. What's interesting about the Sentinels too is they gain more power at the end of their activation. So within a few rounds, they really power up fast, which is really essential for shenanigans like what's starting in round 2.
Yeah, they get a lot of power.
They were not starved, that's for sure. So you grab that trap. Again, I thought it was appropriate to have an X-Men scenario here. Crisis card. You haven't really read anything with Arcade yet. He was kind of more... He was an, I think, 70s and 80s era villain. And just kind of didn't stand up to time, I guess, in one way. All right. There is Sentinel Prime. I'm trying to remember what I called him. I mean, he's Prime.
You can just call him Prime, Andy.
We'll call him Pete. Sentinel Pete. Hey, guess who's in range of Sentinel Pete?
Looks like Colossus and also Wolverine, so...
No, it's Colossus.
Okay.
Plasma Blast Mark II. You're using, I believe it's called Boise Moi? Well, we'll come up with the correct pronunciation one of these days for that. But it gives you 2 more defense dice.
Which was nice. That was a nice little...
That was some good rolls for both of us. So, every little bit helps. When you're dealing with a tank like Colossus, every little bit helps to ping away.
Okay, so that's Domino, and obviously she was not in the Days of Future Past story, but I needed another character.
And she thought, who would make Andy the angriest? And Domino.
Well, I needed another 3-point character, and I could have brought Beast, but Beast doesn't do well with energy attacks.
That's
so
their big attack.
I would have been very happy to bring Beast, but there was that one little problem.
I get it. That makes actually a lot of sense. So, all right. Well, that was a good first round. A lot of posturing. You scored 4 points. I got 3. So with a smaller count, I'm inevitable to go first. So efficient machines kind of forces you to want to play Cassandra. What's really awesome about this ability is as long as a Sentinel is within 3 of Cassandra, they treat shields as wilds for attack and defense. So for defense, that's good, especially against psionic defenses. But for attacks, it's really also good because that gives you one more side of the dice that you can cause damage with. And that was the big reason I chose her this game.
Yeah, when you told me this card that you were playing it, I was just like, no. Yeah.
I mean, it makes her rather good as long as you can pull it off. I mean, it's not hard to pull it off, but you got to be able to do it in the game.
Okay, so also when you attacked me here, Cassandra's attacking Wolverine, I was like, dang it, he only has 2 Mystic defense.
Yes.
But
And this is a mind possession attack.
Yeah. Cassandra only has 2 physical defense.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like they each share that weakness.
So I hurt you pretty well, and I made you go back. Mission accomplished, I guess, with her. So good job, Cassandra.
But now I play.
I wasn't expecting that. I was not.
Weapon X. Yeah. And even though, you like to use that to damage someone, I thought I wanted Wolverine to get a full attack in. So now I'm going to use my leadership ability, where when I'm within 2 and
X-Men
I can.
Gold.
Yeah. Get myself up there. If I did nothing else, I wanted to do this.
And I made a mistake here.
Fastball special. So I wanted to play this. When you read Days of Future Past, it is very much a part of that story.
They do it like 3 times in the story.
And one of them especially is very significant.
Significant.
It's significant.
Yeah. So, and here's the bad part. It removes 2 defense dice for the block. It doesn't say to a minimum of 1. So this is a straight hit onto Cassandra Nova. And Wolverine is a size 3 when it comes to being thrown. So I just got hit for 4 damage without being able to block any of it. Ouch.
All right, and I still didn't take her out yet, though, so Berserker Barrage. And I believe if you do damage with Berserker Barrage, you can throw them. I don't have the card right in front of me, but
you do. Yep.
So I was hoping to at least get some damage.
You did 1.
Yeah, that was a crappy roll.
So she is going to throw me, but I will be using Psychic Deflection to negate the damage on her. Obviously, Pete still has to take it. Sentinel Pete.
Oh, when you throw another person, though, I'm not supposed to throw from Wolverine, right? Do I throw from Cassandra?
I think it would be, I think it would.
So I might have done that incorrectly. I just noticed that watching. I don't know if that would have been legal. I would have had to throw you into the car or something like that, maybe.
I don't think the tree would have blocked. No, the tree wouldn't block.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that was a legal move. I think. We're going to say it was. You scratched Sentinel Pete's paint with her head. Thank you for that. So now I just wanted to try out all abilities in this game. This was kind of a pointless move. Andy, you didn't really need to do it, but I did it anyways.
Oh, yeah, you pull Cyclops
with restraint cables.
I hated that ability.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's why I had to do it. And I pumped up the damage on his Plasma Blast by 1 to be 5 dice. That's what's really fun about the Sentinels, is you can pump up their damage. But it doesn't matter when Cyclops dodges at all. That was a good dodge.
That was a good dodge.
I mean, it was defense. It wasn't dodge, we know that. But
it was a good defense.
It was, if you imagine it in your brain pan.
Duck, Cyclops. He ducked.
He's got good survival instincts for a coward. Oh, I went there. So
it was just said. He's off finding himself, Andy.
What's great is Nikki is now finding the loathing hatred I have for Cyclops from reading the comics recently.
Yes, because what is it, Executioner song?
Yeah, Executioner.
I am not a Cyclops fan. We are going to do that in a lore video.
Yes.
But
it made more sense to do this one. So you hit and run for no damage. Sentinel Steve was tickled. He's like, hee hee. But he's like, hee hee. So.
But I wanted to see if I could get that trap.
Another optic blast. Yeah, that's good. 3 damage there. No, 2 damage when it's all said and done. So, yeah. You hurt him a little bit, and you did take it. Wow, that was a good roll.
Yep.
You took Pete's
trap. Goal in this round was just to try to score as many points as I could, because...
Oh, and what stinks is now I'm going to take damage from that trap, because there's no way I can move him by the end of this round.
Right.
So, that was a good play. So, Suppression Protocol Mark II. This turned into one of my most favorite abilities in the game. I love Suppression Protocol. And keep in mind, my shield is now counted as a wild. As long as I read the card correctly.
Wow.
Which we read
now
the cards.
you read it.
I read it to you. So both those shields count as wild, so it was a good hit. I just splattered old Colossus there. That was awesome. That's what's fun about playing.
Why do you hate Colossus, Andy?
It's not Colossus. I actually love Colossus.
Get through your hatred.
But it's fun to be able to hit people that hard.
Yeah, you were having a blast.
I was. It didn't really matter how this game
he
ended.
was like gleefully throwing the dice.
How many dice do I got to roll? Yeah! So yeah, Colossus dazed.
Dropped his book.
Yeah, so my leadership ability says whatever your threat is, I distribute that number of points once per round to the rest of my team. So each of them got 1 point.
Because they just needed more power.
Heck yeah, they did.
They were starved. They were starved for power.
Hey, energy blasts don't come cheap. They need a little gas in the tank. So, yep. So suppression protocol, we thought if she didn't have cover, I would have totally dazed Domino 2. But instead, I just powered her up big time.
Yeah, so I got to Children of the Atom, get rid of her special conditions.
And she had all 3 of them, which was fantastic.
And then give her some power. I was like, oh, I don't know. So she did have not a whole lot of stamina left. I think maybe 1 left. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. But I was a little nervous at this point. The Sentinels were like, bam, bam. I mean, they were just like taking all my characters out. So
no guts, no glory.
I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to get that book and I'm going to get her the heck out of Dodge. I'm thinking about that right now because there's always a part of you that wants to attack, even though you're like, yeah, it's Domino and she's great. It's a great 3-point character, but she's not going to do much to that guy.
Except be obnoxious. So
it's possible. You can always get lucky.
Yes.
And she is lucky. So
I mean, that is her superpower.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All right. Who's left? I believe it is Jimbo. All right, Jimbo. Let's go here.
Yeah, and I think this is where... you were seeing if he was in 3.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it wasn't within 3 of Cassandra.
I had, for some reason, I think this is where I was confused and thought that guy had already gone. Because otherwise I probably would have done something with Storm.
It is hard to manage all of the people when they look identical.
Mm-hmm. Even with your little markers, you're like, because you can make mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
full power. Full power! Yes. So, yeah, 1 shot, 1 daze. I love that. I love playing the Sentinels. They're so much fun. By the way, I realized when she dazed Cassandra, I had a book.
Yeah, he conveniently forgot to put his book down. You
couldn't have grabbed it anyways, but you already had the book, so that was my mistake. So, yeah. Wow, that was brutal. I can't wait for the next round.
Oh, by the way, I got like 5 points and you got 1.
Who cares when you're smashing as hard as I am?
That was a great round, Andy. I agree.
All right, we're both playing some power moves right now. Directive 1, no rerolls of or no modifying or rerolling defense dice for you, and I don't need line of sight to target you.
Yeah, and to me, my X-Men. So I moved Colossus towards Scott because he is one of the leaders.
You brought him closer to doom. That's what I like to think. So because you moved up, psychic extraction from Cassandra Nova. Take that 1 point of damage. I gave you a minor migraine headache.
All right, so Colossus is going to strike Cassandra.
Rude. Ow. Ow.
So 2.
She's not as good on her damage side as she is on her...
I mean, that could have been a lot worse.
It could have.
I didn't roll great.
So here's where I make a mistake. You 4 is enough damage to KO her. I totally forgot I had extreme healing. And I could have saved myself right here. I would have been staggered, but at least I would have had 1 attack versus no attacks. So that was stupid on my part. I'm just not used to her having healing factor. All right, so Sentinel Prime, Pete, going after Wolverine there.
Yikes. And I'm so upset I just threw that die right off. I'm just like chucking it at you.
Yeah, that happens a couple times this round. Tempers were flattering. So this is where I got drunk with power from my Sentinels. I'm like, all these dice and everyone's daisied.
Oh yeah, he was chipper.
A lot of times I denied. No, I was totally chipper this round. I mean, yes. Take that, Cyclops.
Yeah, you were feeling it.
That's for Jean. So, yeah, that was... I mean, honestly, that's what's so much fun about the Sentinels. I understand why people like the Black Order, though I never have that kind of luck with them.
Alright, so Storm's got to do something. She does Hurricane with Eye of the Storm.
And that's a good move, because I'm a flyer.
So. The flyer, so he automatically gets a damage, and it's an area 2 attack. Not bad, I think 5 damage. I think...
6 with flyer.
6,
1, 2, 3, 4,
and
5. Yeah.
You were all... I think I only could... If I had gotten you for 1 more, I think I would have dazed you.
2 more.
2 more, okay. Yeah. But no,
yeah.
I was out of power. She needs a lot of power.
Yeah. So luckily, I survived that, and Jimbo will be able to retaliate. All right. Again, this is what's fun. Being able to do very powered blasts. I suspect we're going to see more characters in the future having that ability. Guess. I have no idea, but that's my guess. Grab that trap. And now Domino. Hello, Domino. Goodbye, Domino. Are you dazed? Knock, knock. Who's there? Dazed. Dazed and confused. I think that's the name of this
That's
round.
when I chucked the die off.
That's when she chucked the die. Oh, I was feeling really good at the end of this round. This was a lot of fun. Domino, Cyclops. I don't mind Storm. I like Storm. But Domino and Cyclops, yes. And now it's a little time for Storms. Suppression protocols.
Yeah, and at this point I was wishing I had moved Storm instead of trying to do that second attack that I was pretty sure was going to get me nowhere.
You never know, though.
I was wishing I had, done something differently, but...
The skulls say it all right there.
Yeah.
She is KO'd.
By Storm.
Good job, though. But again, because of the fact this is a control mission, you scored 3 still. I scored 3. I am way far behind in points, but...
Well, Andy, you were more concerned with trying to kill me than points, so...
Yes. I'm not going to lie. All right, round 4, and things have gotten super interesting. I don't have many points, but you don't have many people, so...
Yeah. All right, so hit and run. I'm wanting to maximize my actions here. I want to get over by that trap. So I didn't do any damage. I go ahead and roll for the trap because I don't really know why and I don't get it.
Points?
But normally I'd go do all my attacks first and then I'd roll because of the hope that maybe he would be dazed and I wouldn't have to roll as many.
He had a lot of damage still left on him, though. So
he did. I probably was just like, yeah, I'm just going to roll for it so I don't forget. Now, what are your evil Sentinels going to do now, Andy? And I didn't get the trap, by the way.
You did not get the trap. That's safely in Sentinel hands. Safely.
Okay.
So, take a look at my options here. And, so... Plasma Blast onto Domino. Not bad, not bad. So, evidently I opted to cheat that roll. I rolled one too many die.
You did. It's the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah, I just realized that. So, I rolled 8 dice. I should only roll 7. She was gone anyways.
Poor Domino.
Probably not. She probably would have survived. But...
All right, so moving Colossus over there, he is going to get that trap. He will do it. He will do it. I don't know why I did. I don't know what happened.
We wanted to make sure that because this had to be precise, and we normally would not have recorded that. But hey, precision at work here. It was important that you got this in a certain way.
I see. Okay.
Because you were trying to maximize if you could throw something.
Oh, that's right. I was like, if I moved him slightly different, would I have been... Anyway, no. Because that building was a size 4. He can only throw 3, and I wasn't close to anything else.
But that sign is a size 3. So that's what you were trying to do.
Right, but I wasn't within 2 of the sign.
So good X-Slam. You staggered him. He's on 1 stamina right now, that Sentinel. But you got the trap.
I got the trap.
I should count as like 2 people with my size. At this point, I know what I was thinking. I'm not saying it was the best ideas. But, so, I'm going to take out Wolverine. Hey, I've been rolling awesomely all game, so why not? That's why not.
And at this point, Wolverine can't even hold objectives.
You can't score objectives at all, yeah. So, he's just a rabid dog.
He's just angry.
Angry.
He's wanting to...
Hey, you should be angry at Scott, not the Sentinels.
He is angry at Scott. He's always angry.
Actually, he kept going towards Scott, so... And you're just trying to max... So you're doing Berserker Barrage. Getting yourself within 1. Sentinel Prime's like, ha, ha, ha. That tickles. I was actually getting a little nervous. I mean, I've gone through 3 rounds, on to my 4th now, without anyone dazing. I knew it was inevitable, so I was getting really nervous with all your attacks. And that's good, but it's not enough. Thank goodness. But I was hurt pretty bad at that point.
You know, Andy, when you're doing that robotic ha ha ha, when I was reading the comic book, they were saying that their scream sounded surprisingly human. Do you remember that?
No, that's creepy.
I know.
So here is, I figured I just have to take Colossus out, and this game will go on to round 5, and I will just finish with my Mutant Massacre at that point. Did not do enough with Colossus that round. That's a good roll, but Nikki rolled really well too. Not enough to take out Colossus, unfortunately. I'm using pattern analysis. Now that might take him out. No. I mean, it's good. It's a great roll. But she survived it.
I think you almost took him out, but not quite.
And that actually cost me the game. So, great game.
Good game. It was fun.
That was a blast.
So, for someone who won this game, I really feel like I got an ass kicking.
You lost, but you won. That's a very interesting way of putting it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was a couple of times, Andy, that I was like, he could totally pick up that book right now and get a point or whatever, but you chose not to move or whatever and to attack me. So you were all about attacking me this game, and it was pretty scary.
So I thought as of round 3, I can really win this. Maybe not realistic. If it wasn't a control-based game, yes, that would have been super realistic. But it was a control objective for the game, so that made it very difficult. I still have not quite figured out how to win a game like that when you only have 4 people. So I thought the better option was just to blast everything with indiscretion.
You started with your strategy of just annihilation,
Yes.
and you went with it.
I went with it. You got to go with
You
it.
didn't think twice.
No.
You just did it.
And it's kind of like it was almost like a bad drug, because I knew I shouldn't have been doing it, but every time I like one shot you, that was a high, and I'm like, I want to do that again. So that was I'm intoxicated by the Sentinels, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. So
I see. Okay.
kids, don't do Sentinels.
By the way, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Noah. So we are recording this on our anniversary date.
Yes.
So
but yeah, that was a really fun game, I thought, and I think next week we're gonna try to bring out another video in a week, and Sentinels versus maybe Guardians.
Yep.
We're not sure, just because I want to play them, because I haven't played them in a while.
yeah, so this was not the actual list I thought I was going to play right off the bat, but when I was showing Nikki the cards, she kind of pointed out the one that required Cassandra, and I'm like, that is such a good card. I guess I'll play Cassandra. But I actually was going to play another card that came with the Sentinels that you'll see next week, and you'll probably understand at that point why I was going to play this specific card. But for those of you who've seen the Sentinel set, you probably know what I'm talking about. But we're going to leave that as a mystery for those who have not. So,
And yeah, so our lore video is on Days of Future Past, and that's kind of what we based this game around, and we thought that would be really fun. It's such a great story, such a classic.
it is. It's one of the most classic X-Men by far, but if not Marvel and comic, period.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was so
Only
much fun.
2 issues, so it's really a quick read, and
You know what it has done, actually? It's kind of rekindled my interest in reading a bunch of the old stuff, especially things I had never really read all the way through, or maybe it's quite literally been 25 years since I've read them. And you reading them, hearing your impression of them, I really enjoyed that. Especially like, there are certain things I think as a woman you will pick up that I won't necessarily right off the bat. The dichotomy between Mystique and Storm both being leaders in the storyline. I thought about it, but I didn't think about it like that.
well, I think maybe someone from today may or may not think about it. If you've been alive since 1981, and we talk about this in the lore video. When I was a little girl in 1981, I thought I couldn't be a doctor. I had to be a nurse if I chose something like that.
Right.
Just things that
There's a lot of limitations.
our daughters wouldn't think that. They'd be
Right.
like, yeah, I could totally be a doctor, whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever
their concern
your-
would be their grades, not their could they do it. It's, gosh, can I
Oh
get
no,
the grades to
our
do it?
oldest has the grades for sure. But,
yeah.
Well, they both do, but they better get scholarships.
They better get, that's the moral of this story, scholarships.
Scholarships.
Kids don't do Sentinels, kids get scholarships.
Yes.
So.
But anyway, yeah, it's pretty interesting when you are trying to read this story through the eyes of someone who's reading it for the first time in 1980 or 81. A lot of stuff was going on back then, and what also just I think nowadays we're used to alternate timelines and different things like that. Back then, that was just like, whoa, look what just happened.
Yeah,
to our,
that was a brand new, this is, Days of Future Past is pre-Terminator.
Yeah.
Terminator 1.
Yes.
So, and you know what? I think we are going to have to revisit this particular game in probably a couple months when Blob and Pyro come out.
Absolutely.
That way we can really truly play a
Yes.
strictly Days of Future Past cast.
Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah, because they are very much in that story.
Yeah.
So, especially Blob really stuck out to me in that story.
In a
'cause
bad
he's, like,
way, yeah.
awful. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think we'll have to do that. And then we can revisit the story a little bit. But yeah, looking forward to trying the Sentinels out again. Have a few things I want to try. I just want to roll that many dice again. Let's be perfectly honest. I just want to roll that many dice forever and ever and ever now. They may not be super competitive because of certain things they can and can't do, but I love them. They're probably a sleeper hit for me. I knew I was going to like them as a new addition. I didn't realize I was going to enjoy playing them as much as I did. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm curious to see if they're as effective against other people as they are against, the X-Men in that sense.
Yes.
The good people, the one people who you definitely would not want to be playing against the Sentinels would probably be Convocation. That would just probably drive someone bonkers because they've got a lot of rules that negate mystic attacks or mystic abilities, I should say. So not negate, that kind of make them less potent. Let's put it that way. So, but yeah.
All right.
Good times. Well, so we will hopefully we'll have the lore video out hopefully Wednesday, and then we will have our next video out next Saturday.
Yeah, I think it should be Wednesday. We've pretty much got it done. It's just tweaking it, but yeah,
getting it just right. Mm-hmm. So, thank you all for your support. Thank you for all the great comments we get, and just know that we are reading and listening to all of them, and we hope you're enjoying the content we put out. And until next time, anything else for our...
That's it. See you next week.
See you next week.